Live from Peabody Place in downtown Memphis. This is News Channel 3 Live at 9 with Alex Coleman and Mary Beth Conley.
And teen readers have a new heroine to root for in the book The Devil's Kiss. It's all today on News Channel 3 Live at 9.
That's for sure. Coming up next, the author of a brand new book called The Devil's Kiss.
It's the hottest thing among teens. Ooh, right back. All right, we are so excited about this new segment because a schoolgirl faces down the apocalypse. I mean, you don't get much better than that, okay?
No, you
just to start off, this is a debut novel from writer Sarwat Chadda.
That it is. In Devil's Kiss, a 15-year-old is the youngest and first female warrior in an infamous army against the unholy. And while she's fighting off demons, she still has to deal with the same issues as normal teenagers, especially when it comes to boys.
All that, she's barely through puberty.
So, welcome to Live at Night. Glad to have you here in Memphis.
Thank you.
You were just getting here literally just a few minutes ago.
Yes, it's just been a mad dash from the airport, actually.
And that's how it's been since your book has just really taken off. The success so far, does it just really kind of blow you away a little bit?
Yes. As I was saying a bit earlier, for the last 20 years I've been working as a construction engineer. And then about 5 years ago, my wife and I had one of those what are we going to do with our lives conversations. And, you know, our new 5-year plan. I said, actually, I'd really like to have a go at getting into writing.
Did she think you were insane, or did she say, honey, do it?
She just patted my head and said, yeah, you know, as long as you're keen, why don't you
keep your day job, though,
yeah,
right?
It was exactly that, keep the day job. And so then you had this, so bit by bit, I started rewrites, got rejections, you know, the usual thing. But what was great was that every couple of months I'd get a little bit of encouraging news just to keep me going. But yeah, there was no, you know, I thought there'll be another 10 years while I'm still doing the engineering. And then about a year and a half ago I entered a writing competition. I was one of the winners, and then after that it just went completely insane.
And when Disney called you, what was your reaction?
It was so funny because my agent had been keeping everything quite under wraps and said, oh, you know, there are a few people interested, and then she called up and I'll give it, my wife and I had a really bad week at work, and so it was like typical Friday. We thought, right, we'll just have our Friday curry to sort of celebrate.
Okay.
And then we were debating, well, should we go with the rice and the naan? Or it seems a little bit extravagant. And then my agent Sarah called up and said, Sarwat, are you sitting down? And you never think anyone's going to ever have that conversation with you.
Right.
And I thought, do I need to be sitting down? She said, I think you might. And Sarah, if you ever meet her, is this really cool, calm, collected English woman, and she was giggling like a schoolgirl and said, Disney Hyperion, they really love it. Said, how much do they really love it? Really, really love it. And so, to cut a long story short, we decided we would go with the naan and the rice.
Well, way to celebrate.
Like
That's how you do it.
So,
and did you quit your job Monday?
Yeah. And it was like that.
So
wow, tell us about the 15-year-old in the book.
Writing for a teenage audience, that's tough.
Yes.
Do you have kids of your own?
Yes, okay. I have 2 girls, and it was very much them that. That's why I was going to write a girl heroine, simple as that.
Right.
But the key thing for me was, I remember when I was 15, what sort of person are you going to grow up to be? You know, there's the pressure from society, parents, school saying, okay, we want you to do something like engineering or something very straight, something that's rigid and we can see where you're going to go. But then there's the other part of it, saying, no, I want to do something completely my own. And so what was great was, in a way, Billy's story reflected that moment in early adulthood where you've got the pressures of what outside influences want you to be and what your own desires are, but trying to form the two and trying to balance them. And one of the key characters is Billy's father, Arthur, and he's this ruthless, very fanatical warrior. And what I liked about it was turning the tables slightly on their heads, because the usual story is about the son following in the father's footsteps. And there's always something glamorous about being a warrior. But I wanted to strip all that glamour away, and Billy just wants to be normal.
She doesn't want to follow in the
Templar way.
Yeah, the Templar
and this takes place during what, medieval times?
No, it's modern day.
Modern day.
Yeah. Where did you get this whole Templar society? What part of your brain did that come out of?
My ex-engineering office is right round the corner from the original Temple Church. And so I've worked and born and brought up in London, and there's a lot of Templar architecture still around there.
Right.
And
So
I
it
just used to have
inspired
my
you?
lunchtime sandwiches sitting there in Temple Court with the church right there in front of me.
Wow.
And so in a way you really couldn't avoid it. And I've really been really interested in the medieval Crusader period, especially around the Third Crusades, which was the big Saladin, Richard the Lionheart thing.
Right.
And the Templars were so critical throughout that entire period.
Right.
So when I knew that I wanted to, and I love historical fiction anyway, but I knew that I wanted to have a contemporary story, but with a lot of ancient history in the background. So
I love
Templars just melded perfectly.
Is this a genre you want to stick with in the future? Is there like a sequel to this book? Or?
Yeah, sequel is called The Dark Goddess, and I've just delivered that to the publishers a couple of weeks
How
ago.
many will there be? Is there a set number?
I have in mind a 4-book story arc, but we'll see how the first 2 do.
And Disney likes that? That
we'll have
thought?
that conversation in the next couple of days.
I always seem to
You
see
better
in a
sit down
movie.
again, I think.
Yeah.
I believe you're on a roll here for sure.
The people who must be your toughest critics, your daughters. Did you
Well, they're a
get
bit
Billy
young.
right?
Oh, well, they're only 8 and 5, so it's
Okay,
a bit
so they're
early
still-
days. But what's great is they never really got me as an engineer, because you go into an office and so they don't really know what you're doing.
Right,
but
right.
they really get me as a writer, and it's so much fun because you really feel that you're much more involved with their lives now. And what was great was that in England, my publisher also published Roald Dahl, and for the 8-year-old, that's her absolute favourite
Oh,
author.
absolutely.
And so at the beginning, she just had this image that I was going into the Puffin office and I was hanging out with Roald Dahl. And things like that.
Let her believe that. That's good.
I think she's realised it doesn't quite work like that.
Well, we will look so forward to meeting you when your second book comes out. But you can meet Sarwat tonight at 6 at Davis Kid.
The 387 Perkins Extended. You got to be there tonight. What a great book.
Thank you very much.
It's Teen
Thank you
Week
very much.
at Davis Kid, so it's a great way to get your teen back to reading.
All right, we appreciate you being here. Enjoy
My
your
pleasure.
visit.
Excellent. Off to
All right.
Graceland now.
Coming
All
up next,
right.